how I have it. It's secured in the bank.
That's useless data up there.
You have useless data information too, bro.
Oh, all mine is economic related. I don't even have any sports shit in my head. Someone asked me a question the other day, like about like some basketball rules that I probably should know, and I was like, I don't even know, dude.
That's a lie.
It's been overwritten.
That's overwritten.
Data's out of there, brother.
Clean trash can?
Clean the trash can.
Yeah.
Now it's not for trash anymore.
Yeah.
It's for knowledge.
Yeah. And editing.
Fuck, man. I knew today was going to be a fucked up day because we had to edit, I was like, all right, fuck. I'm going to have to rush this shit out to get it out the next day. We do shit on time. We make sacrifices, whatever.
Right.
I knew it was going to be that day. Of all fucking days for my computer to go, fuck you, man. Today was the day.
Makes no sense, man.
No sense. It told me I didn't have any memory left, but I did. All my stuff stored on hard drives. Like, I don't even use the computer's processing power for anything besides just rendering.
Right.
How am I the asshole?
I feel like the computer just wants to take a day off.
I'm like, fuck you, Apple. I know y'all need to sell more Macs. Okay, I've been reading shit.
Yeah, man.
Y'all not selling enough Macs. So what did you do?
Market cap took a hit.
Y'all fucked my Mac.
It was like over 100 billion.
Yeah, I know. And guess what happens the very next day? Chris's Mac goes to shit. Tim Cook be all up in your shit.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, let's just turn some of these off.
He's like, all right, guys, anybody with the last name that starts with an N and an A, their shit's out. Okay, next week is S and M. Alan Dershowitz can't wait till he gets to him.
Hey, if you know, you know. That's all.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that whole 8 degrees of separation from Kevin Bacon?
No, it's like 7.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon, whatever the hell it was. Well, that game with
that game is scary, by the way. What? I actually want to say it's been revised down to 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, they all leave to Stephen Hawking,
look that up
apparently.
for me, please? Yes. Bro, you really want to dance with the devil, don't you?
No, man, I'm just saying. It is all roads lead to Stephen Hawking.
All roads lead to Stephen.
All paved roads.
Just not flights?
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, or
degrees,
Bacon's Law, is a parlor game. Who uses the word parlor anymore? Really? Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Where players challenge each other to arbitrarily choose an actor and then connect them to one another.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about this, but I'm talking about 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, well, that's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is the same thing. It's just with actors.
Oh, but that's way easier, though. Come on, actors on actor space? Come on, it's got to be like 3 degrees of separation. I'm saying I can get you to Kevin Bacon in like 3 degrees of separation. Easy.
Okay, that seems like a stretch.
No. We can play this game. We should make. You want to make this a segment for the show?
No, I'd rather play 3 types of bacon with Haroon.
Haroon will love that game.
Is that hickory?
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Well, it's pretty obvious Haroon's back in the building today.
Yeah, back to back. Let's go.
Welcome to the #1 financial literacy podcast in the world. As always, my partner in crime, the man who doesn't want to play 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
No.
The one and only Saied Omar.
Oh, sitting next to me is my partner in time, Chris Naibi. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
And the hungry man behind the ones and twos, the man.
Why do you do this?
I was going to do the bacon thing. I was like, you know what? At some point in time, I'm going to cross that line where people start sending me DMs again about how I'm too hurtful to him.
Yeah, we're going to leave reviews.
But they've established him already as a bad guy.
They understand, right?
So they kind of get it now, right?
I think the listeners know we're all bad guys.
Okay.
We're all the villain. That was the secret message behind all this. We're all the villain.
Okay, well, yeah. All right. Well, villain number 3, DJ Haroon behind the ones and twos.
Hey, everyone. Dude, I really wanted to go to that taco truck today down the street.
I did too, man. How the fuck is that legal?
Well, first of all, like, who's going there? Because they're not set up now, right? When you're coming in, are they set up?
Yeah, they're set up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is there anyone there?
There's people who pull up, man. Like, first of all, it's on the other side of the street, right? Mm-hmm. Not around, like, electrical or anything. They're just fucking on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Prop up a tent, selling tacos, the whole... I mean, that's a lot of shit to move. They're there when we leave here some nights, like 1 o'clock in the morning, dude.
Well, we usually see them packing up. Yeah.
It's so confusing. It's such a random location. If you cross the freeway, there's homes and apartments there. I don't understand why over here.
Why? And they had it originally in front of other restaurants.
Yeah.
Dude, they must be some bitchin' tacos.
They've got to be fire, right?
We have to stop by.
We got to do that.
I bought cash tonight.
Did you really? I didn't see. That's the thing, is I don't want to be the guy who's like, Y'all got Venmo?
Y'all got Venmo? I'm
PayPal?
good. I'm good for it, bro. I'll be back next
You
week.
know what I mean? Like, which one of y'all can swipe? I don't want to be that guy. They got to be good tacos, right?
Got to be. Yeah.
So maybe we should risk the food poisoning and see how it goes
You
down.
have to. I mean, it's being cooked, right? Come on.
It's being cooked is not a
Saeed's
good
not
litmus
eating
test.
it.
Yeah, you're not eating it, you dirty
man.
fuck.
He's
I'm
100%
watching,
not.
I'm watching both you guys
Why?
first.
Why are you that guy?
What do you mean? I'll try it.
If you go to a foreign country, you're not going to try street food?
I've never had LA street tacos or street dogs, whatever.
That
they're called.
answers your question.
It's because you're Muslim and you don't eat bacon.
No, I mean, they have normal hot dogs there, right?
Normal hot dogs are pork, dick.
Yeah.
No. Really? They're not beef?
They
No.
make beef ones like
I know,
Hebrew
but they're
National
not.
and
That's
shit.
not considered the normal hot dog. All
No, normal hot
sausage
dogs
is
are-
normally pork.
Yeah, that is the normal situation.
You ever seen how the sausage is made, bro?
Yeah. I've made a lot of sausage in my day.
Oh, Jesus.
On a hot mic.
He was walking away from the mic at that point in time. How did you even catch that? Back in the day, he used to like be wary and cautious of saying shit on a hot mic. Now he's like, oh, Jesus.
He doesn't care.
Lord, save us.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all still coughing. Just FYI, let's just get that out of the way now. You're gonna hear a lot
It's
of
that
that shit.
season. It's either that or not record episodes. That's,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
You either get RSV or you don't. All right,
Right.
that's what we're getting here. Interesting show. I think we're talking more about recession than anything else in this particular episode. We're going to start off talking about what we think will happen with the December 23 CPI report, which is due to come out shortly. We're going to jump into U.S. national debt just to kind of give you a litmus test of how fucked up things are.
Got a lot of data there, too.
Yeah, a lot of data is good data. And then we're going to jump into the Federal Reserve talking about a recession. We'll move into a soft landing for the U.S. economy is increasingly conceivable, but not inevitable, according to one of the Fed heads.
Mm-hmm. You might know that as a softie. I mean, that's what you might. The
Can't
listeners,
go hard to the softy, bro.
You can't.
We've already established
We've
this.
established it.
Yeah. We'll talk a little bit more about recessions, and then we'll say 5 of the best money-making resolutions for the middle class, according to experts, to the very end. And if
According to experts.
that's what the title says.
The title says.
Don't be this fucking
Hey,
guy.
hold on. Experts. Okay, we'll get into it.
Okay, when that article came out, I was like, fuck, here we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's a great article.
It's a good article.
Yeah.
But experts, I mean, stretch.
Mm.
And then if there is time, we'll cap it off with some Fed minute suggestions about potential hikes and what that might mean for the timetable on potential rate cuts.
Yep.
Or we'll weave it in because, we weave stuff.
That's probably what we're going to be doing. But for our podcast listeners out there, whether it's on Apple or Spotify, please head over and leave us an honest 5-star review. It does a lot for the show. We would really appreciate it. And if you're watching us over on YouTube, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and do all the moist, goody good stuff.
I feel like every time I tell you I hate like an expression or a word, you're just going to add it to that fucking sentence.
It's part of the show now. It just is
All
what
right.
it is.
I hate the word sassafras.
The what?
The word sassafras.
Okay, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, okay, it's a word.
Yeah,
Okay.
what does it mean?
So I want you to talk about the moist, goody good sassafras.
Do all the moist, goody good sassafras.
Yeah, there you go.
Got it.
Just next time.
Got you.
All right. Oh, there it is. Sassafras.
It's a tree. All right. Why do you hate it so much?
It's a North American tree, huh?
Why do you hate it so much?
I don't know. It's a common old saying in America, the country you live in. You should probably know it.
It's a common saying?
Yeah, sassafras.
No, it's not a common saying. I'm sorry, my friend. That's not an idiom.
Oh, I forget how young you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You still call people kiddo.
I do.
That's
kiddo.
very old of you.
It's because I am old, Said. Yeah, I'm glad we've clarified the facts. Yes, I am old. Okay.
Yes.
You want to know how I know I'm old?
Tell me.
I realize that half of Gen Z is like 12 years old still. Like that's their age now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And all the way to obviously the working and homeowning Gen Z portion. But yeah, that spectrum is like 12 to like 24. So the youngest homeowning generation is
Half of them will not be owning homes.
half of them can't buy a home because they're not of
and
working
they won't
age.
be because they won't be able to afford it.
Okay, let's not
At the-
shit on everybody in the beginning of the show. Let's try to pace ourselves
At the rate that things are going.
with our shitting on.
Yeah.
Let's not ruin.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that his energy level is again low tonight?
He has a sore throat.
Oh,
Who does?
a non-disclosed sore
Who's that?
throat.
Who's-
You
well-
son of a bitch.
That's
Sick.
not.
He had a fever last night.
That better not be fucking true. If that's fucking true. I'm gonna
If there's
fucking
one person you should never trust, dude, it's this guy.
Haroon.
I'm not the liar of the three of us.
Which one of us
Well,
is,
yeah,
motherfucker? Go
which
ahead.
one of us
Yeah,
is?
which one is that? Oh, fuck you. God, I wish we were paying him so I could not pay him anymore.
Right.
According to Forbes, an article titled What to Look For from the December 2023 CPI Report.
It's back, baby.
I missed that. I'm not even mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pop your coochies.
It's been a while.
Cans, fuck. It has been a while. I did the can popping the last couple episodes.
I did too, yeah. That's right.
You did yours earlier this episode, but it wasn't very vocal.
It's a Red Bull can. What can we do?
You could probably switch to more American drinks like Monster. No?
What are you
You're
doing?
a trader, bro. We know it.
I am.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
The one not rocking a Nike hat is the trader.
What do you mean, not rocking a Nike hat?
Come on, bro.
What are you wearing right now?
What's going on over an LA hat? What's going on over there in China, bro? That's a trader hat right there.
This is not a trader hat. This is domestically made Nike.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah, because there's any of that shit lying around. Everything that was made domestic in Nike stopped production in 1984. The CPI report for December 2023 will be released at 8:30 a.m. Eastern on January 11th, 2024 by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Currently, Fed policymakers broadly expect to cut interest rates in 2024, but the timing and magnitude of any move is in part dependent on inflation's trajectory. I would also add on GDP's trajectory and in jobs and employment trajectory, amongst other data sources.
Yeah. So I was actually going to weave in the Fed Minutes article into this right here, because right there when it talked about depending on what happens with this report, their upcoming meetings right now, everyone's projected that they're going to be beginning their rate cutting cycle in March. Now, this CPI report will come out 2 weeks before their next meeting. That's why a lot of people are waiting for this to come out.
Yeah, and I think that we're going to continue to hear rhetoric from the Fed, kind of pacing the optimism that we're seeing in the market. Everybody's essentially labeled it a foregone conclusion that we're going to get multiple rate cuts this year. I think the lowest estimate is 3. The highest estimate is now up to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going to see the Fed push back on that rhetoric and trying to just discourage a little bit of the over-optimism, obviously impacting the financial markets.
Right. The minutes came out, and what it said was, here's a quote from the minutes. It said, participants note that it was possible that the economy would evolve in a manner that would make further increases in the target range appropriate, while also saying all participants see a lower rate by the end of 2024. So the minutes acknowledge that there definitely will be rate cuts at some point, but they wanted to see with what's going to happen, how the reports evolve. We'll let you know where we go from here. Don't get too excited.
Okay. That's like going on a date with a girl who's clearly interested in you, and she says, look, we're going to go there eventually.
Yeah.
But don't get too excited.
That's it.
Right?
That is what they said.
If you have too many cocktails, you're going there tonight. You know?
Right.
If you say something stupid, you're not going there at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say, hey, America, drink your cocktails, shut the fuck up, be patient. Because you're going to cockblock yourself.
Exactly.
These markets get too hyper and too active. What's going to happen? The Fed's going to feel compelled that the numbers are going the wrong way. So the optimism they're trying to curtail is actually trying to keep the data going in the continuous direction that they want it to. Now, there is a question whether you'll get there or not with the things like housing and home price index and rent equivalent, which impact inflation. So we'll get more on that in a minute. According to the nowcast data from the Cleveland Fed, inflation as measured by headline CPI is estimated to rise 0.3% month to month for December. A similar monthly increase of 0.33% is expected for core CPI, which removes, obviously, the changes in food and energy prices. If this forecast holds, it will represent an increase from October and November readings, but still maintain the broader picture of cooling inflation over recent months.
Yeah, but so we got to remember, though, so even though it's an increase month to month, what the Fed likes to look at is those year-over-year figures. Yeah.
So the month-to-month number compared to 1 year ago, which we already know the data, so this is not speculation on my part, is a significant decrease.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to continue to see that, I think, for the next, call it 10 to 12 months, as long as inflation stays in and around this range. Even if it didn't move down at all, it's still year over year will be less.
Right.
So nonetheless, 0.3% monthly inflation would still imply an annualized inflation rate of more than 4% compared to the Fed's 2% annual target. So while the Fed won't read too much into a single CPI report, such a relatively high December CPI reading may incrementally delay the prospect of anticipated interest rate cuts in 2024, especially when the market sees March cut as likely.
And that's what that March meeting is, the one that I have circled on my calendar that I'm most worried about, right? Because if everyone is anticipating and the expectation is out there that that's the one where they're going to begin cutting and begin some of the easing, and they in fact don't do it, I feel like that's what's going to begin to shock some of the market.
Haroon, do me a favor real quick. If you can find it, look up March 2023 inflation number and see if you can find what CPI was at March 2020. Oh, look at you. Already got it. March 2023 inflation rate was 5%.
So it'll still be down year over year. But yeah.
So December 2022, 6.5. January 23, 6.4. February 23, 6. March 23, 5. So.
But that's also the headline figure, I believe. Like Chris just read, the Fed likes to look at core inflation that strips out food and energy.
But there's a statistical thing to think about and consider when you're talking about what inflation is going to do this year and how the Fed's going to hit it, right? So if you recall, December to this period, you saw it continuing to drop from its high at 9.1 previously to that. You saw some pretty significant year-over-year declines as a result of inflation's drop during this period of time at an accelerated rate, presumptively because the Fed took this bell curve-like approach, right? They increased a lot in a short period of time, drove inflation down pretty aggressively. But if you know that inflation 1 year ago in March was about 5%, and we're currently around, call it 4%, right?
Yep.
That isn't a huge year-over-year decrease. That's the deceleration we've always talked about on the show, is that the year-over-year decrease in inflation is slowing down because what it was a year ago is actually down. Now, as you start to move forward deeper into the year, it's going to be harder and harder to get a continued deceleration because the numbers from 1 year ago are also going to be lower because we've been on a downward trajectory. As a result of that, one of the things we've talked about at length on the show was that rent and rent equivalent have to come down because they're a major contributor to inflation. Rent equivalent, just to remind you, is if you took a purchase price of a home, broke it down into a traditional standardized mortgage, and amortized that and made it equivalent to rent, what that number would look like. So home values do have an impact on this number. We truly believe then, and I still believe now, and I don't know if you guys do, I'm pretty sure you do, that you don't get to that 2% target without home values coming down.
Right. And given what we know and what we've seen so far, that portion of the report remaining higher and not coming down and correcting itself enough is my reasoning to believe that the Fed is ultimately going to give up on their target rate of 2% and ultimately settle on 3%. Now, whether they eventually come out and admit that, I don't know.
So this is the thing that's curious to me because Greenspan set the limit at 2 to 3%.
Yeah, why did they come out and say we're going for 2?
Yeah, and they did say a number of times that they'd rather overcorrect than undercorrect.
Overcook, undercook.
Yeah, I see. You have to. It's like it's compulsory.
It's
you have
part
to
of the
do
show.
That.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. You got to do that. But they've drawn this kind of hard line in the sand at 2%. I don't feel like they needed to do. And if you feel like you're giving like the world guidance, like, oh, it's going to be 2%, we're going to get a 2%, we're going to rather overcorrect than undercorrect. 2% that is a number we're going towards. Why?
Maybe because they probably understood, like, look, we're already around that 3.2% range, and had we gotten there as fast as we did, the administration would probably be at their door saying, hey, motherfucker, start to cut rates. We're at that 3% that you wanted to.
Well, let's talk about the administration, shall we?
You saw that segue?
I felt it.
Yeah.
Deep in my loins.
In your loins.
My loins. U.S. national debt hits a record $34 trillion. This from Yahoo Finance.
Weren't we just at $33 trillion?
We were like yesterday.
It felt like it.
That's the problem when you jack rates up at a pretty exponential number. Haroon, in post-production, will be so kind as to put a chart right here.
Chill.
And it'll show you a pretty wild uptick when you look at debt and compounding interest. You know how people say to you, hey, credit card debt is very dangerous because it compounds and it gets more and more and more and more, and it goes with this clip, and it can be very, very dangerous, and it gets out of control. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what's going on with the U.S. national debt right now. It's going fucking vertical.
Yeah.
It's going straight up.
Yeah.
That's a problem. I don't care whose chart this is. This could be your checking account. That's good for you.
Right.
This could be your credit card balance. Bad for you.
Yeah, exactly.
These are not, this is very black and white. There's no like interpreting this any other way.
Yeah. Well, so I have something on that too after you get done reading this, but the naysayers that like to say that it's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be.
Those called politicians? Those are naysayers?
Probably some lobbyists. Maybe they got paid off, right? But
Yeah.
they routinely cite Japan, and we'll get into it.
Bro, Japan's political system is far smarter than ours. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so when you're looking at the U.S. national debt like this, right, what you also need to analyze is the, debt to GDP ratio. Okay, so does the country, create enough revenue to be able to, service this debt, right? And currently we're hovering, if we haven't crossed already, the last time I checked, we were like at 98% debt to GDP income ratio, right? And you're like, okay, that's not good.
Bad.
For an economy of our size, that number should look more like 70%, okay? So, but there are 15 other countries that are operating at a much higher, debt to GDP ratio than us, Japan being one of them. Okay. And like they're above actually 200%. And it's really, people think that this debt ceiling that we self-inflict it's all just created like just to make sure that the Congress doesn't overspend.
They do.
Which they always will.
The money that was spent to Ukraine, for example,
Mhm.
right? You know how much good, why didn't that go to Maui?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like, why aren't we doing things? Why aren't we building fresh water coming from Alaska down to the United States, like in the mainland United States? Like, why aren't we doing things like that?
Right.
You could do so much good in this country with that money, rather than politically support an ally in a war. And whatever. It blows my mind. Let's get into the Yahoo Finance article, right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
The federal government gross national debt has surpassed $34 trillion, a record high that foreshadows the coming political and economic challenges to improve America's balance sheet in the coming years, and, of course, ahead of the November 5th, 2024 election. So expect this to be one of those points you hear somebody on a stage wearing a red or blue tie going on ad nauseum about how they're going to fix it when they get in office because they're not corrupt. Mm-hmm. I swear. The U.S. Treasury Department issued a report Tuesday logging U.S. finances, which have become a source of tension in politically divided Washington that could possibly see parts of the government shut down without an annual budget in place. Okay, that's not going to happen. They raised the debt ceiling. It's been 80 times. It's not, yada, yada, yada.
It's going to happen again.
Nice, scary words to get some clickbait, Yahoo Finance. Good for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is a problem that they're not going to be able to solve. This conversation is going to be had until it can no longer be had.
You will never be able to solve this problem in a system where people spend millions of dollars to try to get jobs, pay you a couple $100,000 and somehow walk out with 8-figure fortunes.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's just a fundamental problem in our political system. And honestly, most politicians aren't that smart.
Well, you got to think of it too, right? So we've talked about it on the show before. The government makes all their money off tax revenue. Okay. And that number's around $4 trillion. Okay. And they're spending about $6 trillion a year. It does not help them that the Fed funds rate is higher, making their debt payments higher. And what also doesn't help them is that businesses and individuals are less profitable now, so they won't be making as much tax revenue in the coming year. So what are they going to have to do? They're going to have to borrow even more money. I bet you we get to 35 trillion a lot faster than we got to 34 trillion.
Oh, yeah. It's an accelerating pace. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Republican lawmakers in the White House agreed last June to temporarily lift the nation's debt limit, staving. I hate that word staving because I always want to say starving. Staving off
You
the
put some
wrist,
stank on it.
Stank on it of what would be a historic default. That agreement lasts until January of 2025, which ironically is mere months after the election.
Right. To put things into perspective for people, that chart right there that from this Yahoo Finance article, it showcases in 1953, the national debt was $0.2 trillion. In 1983, it was $1.4 trillion. In 2013, it was $16.4 trillion. Now we're sitting at 34. That escalated very quickly.
Yeah. And it's going to keep going up.
Mm-hmm. I thought one thing that is important to know, because I really wanted to, I did a deep dive on this because of that one review that we got, and they asked us to maybe break it down a little bit. So of this $34 trillion in debt, $7 trillion of it is intergovernmental debt, meaning they're borrowing from other programs within. It's like borrowing from one pocket and putting it into the other pocket, right? The remainder of it is all held by the public. So it's roughly like other countries. 30% of that is held by other countries. So, and that is the risk. We didn't even have this in here, but the whole BRICS article, what happened with BRICS?
We've been putting off talking about BRICS until it got more settled. And honestly, it's at a point now where I am fucking concerned.
It's a real issue.
You got a lot of the Middle Eastern countries now have joined BRICS. You got too many powers. They don't control enough of gross domestic product worldwide to be an absolute threat at this point in time. But they are growing. They are growing at a cadence.
I think it's over a third, though.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where you're like, okay, they have the ability to massively undermine the dollar now. There are too many very large countries and very financially stable countries that are now committed to this. I mean, you got India, I think. You got Russia. You got China.
Brazil.
I
think Indonesia.
Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates now included as well.
Yeah.
Egypt.
Yep.
I mean, we're at a point where it's not going to take a couple more large countries to join this thing, and then it's the United States against the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly. And a big reason for that is with right now with the U.S. dollar being the world currency, is that gives the U.S. a lot of power.
I thought it was Bitcoin.
Not yet. I mean, if it's up to Kramer,
Bro.
Kramer fucked that whole thing up, right?
I've seen so many people talking about Bitcoin ETFs lately.
ETF, right?
And you know who I blame for that shit, right? Fucking Nouriel Roubini.
I was just going to say, that piece of shit
broke my heart.
All of our hearts.
You break my heart, Nouriel.
By the way, who did we say you were dating now? Graham? Jeremy Graham, was it?
Okay, first of all, dating is a...
You said you were dating. You were approaching first base. That's what you said.
That doesn't mean dating. First base is making out. You can make out with anybody.
I was never that guy, bro. Sorry.
You were a second day closer then?
No, I was not.
No first base, just straight home runs?
No, none of that.
Didn't you say that back in the day?
Never that.
Yo, Chris, I'm just a home run kind of guy. You know what I mean?
I'm like Babe Ruth out there just holding the bat up.
Yeah. Y'all ready to catch these fly balls?
Or these... I can't.
Ruth's got no laughter back there. You okay, man?
I'm shedding a tear. You had sport references.
Oh.
He was so proud of you.
The fly balls?
Yep.
Look at you.
It's actually more of a sexual reference, but I'm glad you got something out of
it. Shit. But yeah, man. It's a real threat there. I mean, I think it carries enough weight to have a deeper dive episode on it.
All right, and I think we should do that. I think we should do a full episode on it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And there's probably enough there. We can probably get into the girth of the matter.
Chris, I want to follow up with what you just mentioned. You were talking about Japan's politics is a lot stronger, or you were saying something about Japan, and can you share some insight on that?
Let's see, probably the best way I can point to it is see if you can search and see Japan's central bank interest rate increases. I believe their entire monetary policy was contrary to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I looked at it before the show. Their inflation rate right now is sub 3%.
Yeah. So short-term policy interest rate in Japan, 2016 to 2023, the central bank policy rate in Japan remained at minus 0.1% in November of 2023.
Here's the issue, too, with citing Japan as, the counterpoint to this argument is, okay, their economy has grown very slowly.
Yeah.
They've never grown rapidly, right?
Correct.
So just because it hasn't come to a complete halt and crashed does not mean that by carrying a debt to GDP ratio of over 200%. If that wasn't there, we don't know if that economy would have escalated very quickly. So there's an argument to be made that you don't really know how well it would have functioned.
I would also say that this is going to sound not racist, but it's going to sound like culturally biased. Japanese culture has a lot larger emphasis on honor and respect than the U.S. political culture does.
Okay.
I think a lot of the ethos that makes up some of the traditions in Japanese culture, and you have to understand, like in Japan, it's still hard to be a non-citizen there. And it's not really easy to become a citizen in Japan. So it is still very much a Japanese-centric culture when you're there, right? The United States, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what your perspective may or may not be politically, is really, I mean, since its inception, has always been immigrants coming in.
Yeah, melting pot
Of different cultures. And I liked, I mean, my ethnicity is multiple ethnicities. Like, you know, I get that. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you're mixing so many different cultures, so many different perspectives. And because of that, you kind of water down some of the things that may have identified as United States or America at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Japan has always been very high on integrity and respect and honor. And to them, I think politically, some of that stuff really matters. They have some corruption there for sure. But I think because of that, you don't have the same degree of political manipulation that you do in the United States.
Yes.
I think it's absolutely egregious here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, maybe I'm just misinformed. But that's just been my kind of observations.
Right.
I read a lot on the Japanese economy because I've always liked Japan.
Yeah.
So and I see very, very few instances of things like the Nancy Pelosi's of the world.
Right. The other thing that I wanted to make sure we touch on before we move on from this article is that the U.S. debt ceiling, right? The current debt that we're dealing with, they don't manage their debt like household debt, right? It doesn't work the same way. They're able to borrow from their own future, right? That's what treasury bills are. And that's where all that public debt comes from.
Mm-hmm.
That comes a lot of good comes from that too, right? Because they use that debt to build out infrastructure, right?
Yeah, that's true.
There's a big reason why our economy is the way that it is because of that, right? It's also a way for them to not have to raise taxes on everyone to fund wars, right? They use it for things like that. So there's an argument to be made that if handled correctly, which obviously I'm not co-signing any of this because
like you are.
It's gotten way out of hand. No, because we're putting people in charge of managing our debt levels that clearly have shown they don't know how to manage debt levels.
I would say most politicians who make the rules for these things do not have a financial background significant enough to be making the decisions that they're making.
Right.
And I would also say that if the bond market were managed correctly and the treasury markets were managed correctly, you wouldn't need income tax at all. It's because we have inefficient management in place and excess spending that these systems, which otherwise in and of themselves are strong and support what we do as a country, are not enough.
Yeah.
So just food for thought.
JP from the hood.
That's your segue?
That's my segue.
I was looking at you for a segue. That's the best you can give me?
You didn't leave me with much.
That's your thing.
You didn't leave me with much.
I gave you the whole thing. What are you talking about?
What whole thing?
I looked at you afterward. I queued you up.
Like
all you had to do was drop the Uchi Wally, and I'll give you the bang bang.
And here's the bang bang. This from Business Insider.
No, you did not just steal my read. You son of a bitch.
The Federal Reserve is done talking about the recession. Federal Reserve officials seem to have stopped talking about recession as the threat has faded.
I know this is your first time doing this. You got to read the screen right there.
Yeah. But
with the quote.
But I was leaving that for you still because you did all the work over there.
Okay, if you're gonna go off fucking course, then give me some direction.
Give you some. But listen, that's also not true, man. Come on, hold on.
Whoa.
Fed officials have stopped talking about the recession as the threat has faded. It definitely has not faded.
Seem. The word seem.
Yeah, there should be a big ass asterisk on that.
Okay. It seems to me that Haroon likes me more than you.
That ain't true, bro.
But it seems to me that it is.
So you're telling me that we should not trust Business Insider.
It seems to me that you should consider laser hair removal on your forearms.
Oh, why? I like them. I like my hair, bro. I swear, it really doesn't bother me.
It just seems
Leave
to
it on
me.
the forearm, just the wrists and down.
Yeah.
The wrist and that would be weird, man. That's like you getting a body tan but not doing your face. That's weird. You got to do the whole thing.
We covered this.
You did it though.
In a long episode.
You did it.
I did. And
So
the photos
but the
are
same reason why
fucked
I won't do that. I will say the only part of my body that I hate it on the knuckles.
Hairy knuckles?
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
And then like why these and then not these? You know, it's like this
do you ever stick your hand in your kid's sock drawer and all the socks come stuck to it like Velcro?
No. That's funny. That's the bar.
You get the question too.
You got the question too.
I mean, you have very hairy knuckles.
I do have hairy knuckles.
It's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably braid that.
No, we cannot.
Does your ring ever pull your hair out?
No, man.
That's a lie.
I never take it off.
That doesn't.
Got him.
Huh?
What are you doing taking your ring off for?
I don't take my ring off either.
Okay.
But my wife's been taking hers off.
Okay.
Because she got the diamond all the way around one.
You
and
can't
all
sleep with
bullshit.
that. Yeah.
So she can't sleep with that. So I'm always like, hey, babe, your ring's in the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah. I'm like, you gonna put the other one on? Silicone one? Yeah. She's like, no, I just want my finger to air out. I'm like, I don't. No.
Girls be stacking rings too.
Are you kidding me? My wife's got 3.
Because it's every milestone, right?
So milestone. We've been married for like 6 months.
That's not true. That's not true. But so the next one you get a stack, you should buy one of these like fitness ones. just stack.
The Aura ring. Look, baby, you look chunky. Here.
That's not what I said.
How do you see that going down?
I'm trying to help you save some money.
Yeah. Stop. You can't do that.
Yeah.
That is not a milestone ring you can buy.
Sorry.
She does have a Cartier one as one of her milestone ones though.
Okay.
Yeah. See.
Did you buy that with the black card?
There it is. Yeah. Fuck.
He was waiting.
Come on, man.
Waiting.
I was like, really?
Let me get this straight.
When it's too easy.
The last segue you didn't fucking get, but that one you just took for the picking?
It was right there.
It seems to me you're a dick. The Federal Reserve is done talking about recession. Notes from its recent meeting show the word recession doesn't appear even once in the minutes from the central bank's last 3 meetings, which took place between September and December. In contrast, the term pops up more than a dozen times in reference to an upcoming economic downturn in the minutes from the preceding 7 meetings dating back to November of 2022. That's not an accident.
This is bullshit, man.
That didn't just not happen.
The whole lot.
You know your boy JP walked in and said, all right, bitches, listen up, Neil. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking. Here's what we're going to do, okay? You're not allowed to say the word recession without getting a fresh fucking slap. You see this bottle of talcum powder? You say the word recession, I'm powdering up.
Right.
And you're going to get slapped.
And then they told him to start recording.
All right. Now go ahead and record these minutes, motherfucker. That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Because you know what else was said in those minutes? What they went out of their way to also say, if they do see a spike in unemployment numbers, that they will go from a gradual easing to a sharp, quick amount of easing. They'll start slashing rates.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, y'all didn't say recession, but if there's a spike in unemployment, what is that? So yeah, it's very strategic of them to not use that word.
I'm telling you,
I hate these motherfuckers, man.
And it's so manipulative too, because like somebody in that room, had a bad night.
Yeah.
Somebody in that room was like, God damn it, I just want to have sex with my wife. She said no. Somebody had a bad time.
And this is coming out now. It's like, look, they didn't say recession on the last 2. You know what happened, right? JP told Neil, was like, hey man, none of these fucking reporters have talked about how we didn't say recession in the last 2 meetings. After this meeting, I need you to go fucking spread that word to somebody.
Hey, I'm gonna be real for a minute. Since,
Circle of trust?
No, fuck the trust. I ain't got no trust with you guys. It seems to me like you're not trustworthy.
Damn, bro. That's hurtful, man.
It seems. Doesn't mean it's true. We established this.
I thought we were friends.
No. Stop. I haven't heard a lot from Neil.
He's waiting. He's waiting to drop the hammer.
Did we ruin him?
Yeah. He's not sending us a bottle.
I feel like it wasn't us. I feel like people are like, all right, he looks like Jada Pinkett Smith. I don't want to hear him talk.
It's the alopecia.
I don't need any more red table talk. Okay?
That's
Neil?
what it was.
Yeah.
We put him against the alopecia and they were like, oh, that's it. They can't have any more of them.
I would fully support a movement in the United States in which we brought Will Smith back. I would fully support that.
A lot would have to happen, man.
I know, but I would support bring Will Smith back. But that would also mean that Jada couldn't be there.
Has he even responded to the recent allegations?
What recent allegations?
What? You don't know?
We talked about it.
Shut up. What recent allegations?
I don't even know the actor. It was his assistant, right? Someone said that they walked in on him and his assistant.
Doing what? Who was assistant male or female?
His assistant, male, having intercourse.
His assistant does not mean that the assistant was a male. Just for
No.
the record.
Him and his assistant. Sorry, I don't know how I said it, but I referenced that it was a guy. His assistant is a male.
So,
and they walked into a dressing room.
Who is they? Who walked in?
Somebody walked in.
Somebody walked in on Will Smith and his assistant.
This is the allegation, bro. I'm not saying it happened.
It seems to me like you are.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, has he even addressed it? Because that went viral.
Why would you need to address it?
You didn't know that?
Let me ask you a question.
I'm asking you a question. Did you not know that?
I mean, I may have heard something to that effect, but I try to elevate my mindset. You always want to talk about mindset in the show, so let's talk about mindset for a second, okay? I try to refrain from going deep into this type of material because I don't feel like it's valuable.
Will Smith's former assistant claims he had a sexual relationship with another male actor.
Okay, so his assistant walked in on him.
That's what it was.
Having sex with
yeah. Jeez.
Let me ask you a question.
It's an allegation.
Let me ask you.
We're not saying it's true.
Let's be honest. Hey, look. Let's ask a question. Let's be fair here, okay? Let's be democratic.
Okay.
Maybe I should ask pop culture. Haroon.
Yep.
Does it matter to you? And I just want you to be honest, okay? And I don't care how abrasive you have to be. Okay, this is your time to shine. Okay.
Uh-oh.
So. If Will Smith said, "Yeah, I like having sex with men. I like having sex with females." Do you care as long as Jada Pinkett Smith is out of the picture?
Nope.
See? Me too.
No, me too. And I wouldn't care. God honest truth, I wouldn't care. Here's the problem with that, though. That would be admitting to the open relationship that they have said that they never had. Which would mean
they've said that they've been divorced, basically separated for 6 years.
Yeah, but they're saying, but these allegations are stemming back years.
So what?
Right? So you're basically saying that those years where you were acting like you guys were together, you guys actually did have, and you would basically.
You know how many relationships in Hollywood are a front for other things?
I know, but
they have kids, so
he would be admitting to lying essentially. Before
okay, about his personal life to the media, who cares?
I wouldn't care, but I'm saying to get the masses to now see, like, oh, we can trust you again.
Okay, how big is your penis?
The biggest.
Okay, you just lied to me.
That's not true.
That's a lie.
It's the biggest to me because it's the only one that I've seen.
That's not true either. That's not true either. What you need to tell yourself and the people around you to make yourself feel good, that's entirely fine. Yeah. If you think that tiny little thing is the biggest, that's okay for me. Okay, I'm okay with that. As long as you are happy, I'm good with that.
Right.
All I'm saying is he doesn't owe us an explanation for what he's doing and why he's doing it.
He does not.
Right. What he does is he owes me the opportunity to live my life without hearing Jada Pinkett Smith fucking talk about shit anymore. I don't want to hear her talk.
I know, man.
Like, just give me that, Will. I don't care what you do in your personal private life. I'm fine. Just shut her up.
Please.
Please. I can't take it no more.
So sad.
How did we get from the Fed to that?
We did it. Somehow we're able to.
It's just so strange.
That's what you get.
Did I even finish that quote? I don't think I did.
No. I don't know if you did.
Arun, go back up.
No, you got the last
I did not.
So.
Yeah, the Fed's staff economists flagged the potential for a recession within the next year at both the November and the December meetings in 2022. The minutes show in March 2023, they projected a mild recession starting later this year.
Yeah, well, they can't come out and say that we project a hard landing given what we're doing right now. They can't ever admit to that either, though. Right? So it's like you're asking somebody to give themselves a self-assessment review in advance of what the work that hasn't even been done yet.
I can do it.
I know my shit's gonna be great.
Yeah. Y'all fucking welcome.
Saying that we're projecting a mild recession is like, I'm gonna say that I overpromised and underperformed. My bad, y'all.
See, I'm the kind of asshole where if I was Jerome Powell, I'd be calling everybody whose stock market value is up.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim Cook. Yeah, this is JP, from the hood, and I'm just calling to say you're welcome, man.
No, who owes him a call is Jamie.
Jamie Dimon?
Yeah. He's like, that First Republic, you're welcome,
Yeah.
dog.
You know how we strategically took, I mean, shit. You know how they went down?
Yeah, yeah.
You're welcome. So,
I'm going to need a spot on that board when this is all said and done.
what's going to happen here is we're going to get out of this time in the economy. And eventually, I'm going to need another job. And when that happens, I expect there to be 2 commas in my salary, Jamie, wherever I happen to land.
Exactly. I
Think
know.
you think you can work that out?
Can you make a phone call?
Yeah.
Can I put you on my resume?
When I send it to you.
Yeah.
From Yahoo Finance, a soft landing is increasingly conceivable, but in no way inevitable. From Thomas Barkin, the Richmond Fed president. And I'm going to read that quote again because it is deceptively negative. A soft landing is increasingly conceivable. It's increasingly something that we can think may happen, but is in no way inevitable.
Right.
Meaning that there is no guarantee that is the absolutely guaranteed thing that is going to happen.
Right, man. It's like you going to a restaurant and saying that I'd like to order a piece of a ribeye, please. And I can say that it's probably, we can talk about it being good for you, but I can't guarantee that it's going to be good for you.
I had a ribeye last night. Fucking amazing. Houston's. Hawaiian.
Damn.
I had 2 this week.
2.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, you stopped taking me there.
I took my mom, asshole.
That's okay.
I'd love to meet.
You spend more time with me than your mom. Come on, bro. I deserve some love. It's true.
You know, I'll take you boys to Houston's. I will take you both to a higher standard dinner. Just get your wife's permission to get out of the house on the 3rd day of the week. So let me know how it goes for you.
Done.
Boom. Done.
That's not gonna happen.
Done.
That's not. Don't do that.
Easy.
Don't lie to the audience.
Next week.
I thought we built this show on honesty and being genuine
And integrity.
What the fuck is
It
that?
seemed like that.
The man's good.
See, that's why he should be in your seat.
He should be.
See, he's paying attention.
I've
You
been
over here
asking him. Hey,
lackluster,
listen-
lollygagging, sassafras.
Sassafras. Listeners out there, if you want an episode with Haroon in the hot seat next to Chris, leave us a comment down below on the YouTube channel.
Hot seat. I'll just put him right there in the other chair.
No, I want him right here next to you and me back there behind the 1s and 2s.
You wouldn't know the first fucking thing to do back
That's
there.
fine. That's not good. I'm not gonna have to deal with it afterwards. Yeah, he's gonna have to deal with it afterwards.
That's fucked up. Villain move right there.
I'm a villain.
Yeah, it's true. All right, Richmond Fed President Tom Barkin once again urged caution about the direction of interest rates in the new speech on Wednesday, reiterating that the potential for hikes is still on the table if inflation heats back up. This is called a walk back. The Fed's going, fuck, everybody's so positive.
Yeah.
Let's walk it back a little bit.
Yeah, he might be moonwalking.
Let's see what happens here, yeah? He outlined a number of risks that could disrupt that soft landing, a term that refers to a scenario where inflation drops and the U.S. economy slows without triggering a recession. Just to be clear here, if you guys have been using the fucking expression soft landing, do you really need to explain it now?
Right. Haroon, can you do me one favor real quick? Could you please Google the Atlanta Fed GDP now?
Why are you looking up retiring to Portugal? What the fuck?
I wasn't. I was looking up debt to GDP ratio by countries.
Just sure you were,
Yeah,
buddy.
Portugal is one of the
Oh, this is your computer, Chris.
It's not. That's the studio computer.
intermittent fasting.
And you look at retiring in Portugal and intermittent fasting. This computer knows you well.
We're having trouble here? What's going on?
I stopped. What was it?
Atlanta Fed GDP now. Because what that Fed official just went and said, the second one? Okay.
Or the first one, that's fine.
Yeah, either one. Or maybe it was the first one. Sorry.
What are you looking for?
The GDP now figure, right there. 2.5%. I just saw it right there. Currently, the estimate. If you remember correctly, GDP for Q3 or Q4 was it? That it revised it up.
Yeah.
From 4.9% to 5.2%. Dropping from 5.2% to that figure seems like a slowdown to me, right? And then what's going to happen for Q1 is going to be another slowdown. So I think they're going to have to really start talking, and stop talking in circles about the actual data.
Quoting again from the same article, ironically on the heels of Said's unintentional segue, that's why the potential for additional rate hikes remains on the table, added Barkin, who this year is a voting member of the Fed's interest rate setting committee.
I think that's what's going on. So these Fed officials are swapping in and out as voting members, and Neil's like, man, I got to play my cards right. He's got to be a voting member next year.
He's just going to shut up and do nothing?
Yeah, at this point, he's like, I can't be out there too much.
So as soon as these guys are out and he steps in, he's voted in, he's like, I know you motherfuckers are wrong.
Yeah, I should have been in there the whole time.
Fucking Barkin.
Yeah.
Fuck he was talking about.
Richmond. It's over there in Richmond.
Good job, Tom. Way to fuck the economy up. Don't worry, alopecia's here to save the day. Go ahead.
Poor alopecia, man. People, they're like, what they got against us?
Nothing. I mean, just as long as you're not Neil.
I feel like you would like it, right? Because you make fun of me so much.
I like eyebrows. Having eyebrows is a value add to me.
It is a value add.
It's one of my most charming characteristics.
You found the group that we could attack and not get canceled. So you're like, let's get it.
Oh, come on, don't give me an alopecia headshot. Yeah, Neil is
Neil looks like, you know what it looks like? His 5 o'clock shadow looks like he rocks a soul patch on the weekends.
Yeah, I think he just has one of those though. But let's be honest, he's got a great rounded head.
Dude, he'd make a great villain.
He is a villain.
No, like on the movie?
He is a villain.
Yeah.
In real life.
Yeah. I could see him playing Magneto.
I could see him playing Jerome Powell.
I got nothing from that, Odin.
He's laughing back there. He just didn't turn the mic on. Yeah, he left the mic on when he was like, Jesus Christ, but now he turns it off.
Yeah.
I don't want people to hear me actually entertained by these two fucking idiots.
Right.
Well, recession deniers. We're talking to you now. Okay. This from Business Insider. Recession deniers are making the same mistake as during the dot-com and housing bubbles, top economist David Rosenberg says. David Rosenberg, as all economists, looks very much like a nerd. And, well, I'm going to say that he's got some very valid points for a nerdy guy.
Yeah?
I thought this article would be valuable because it gives you a historical perspective of some of the things that have happened leading up into prior recessionary economies. And you've heard us say in the show that you had market rallies in 2001, 2007, and in 2020 before the last 3 recessions.
Yeah.
We talked about the inverted yield curve. We talked about so many different things that we feel like are red flags. Well, this completely independent of us article, unless Mr. Rosenberg listens to the higher standard, in which case he's not a nerd. He's a very cool, smart, attractive person. Who probably is on testosterone replacement therapy from our lead sponsor, Transcend Company. You can go to transcendcompany.com/THSP. That's transcendcompany.com/THSP and link up with someone who help you get on peptides like I'm on. So for the record, Saied, how tall are you?
5'8".
I'm 6'5".
You can tell. Come on.
You can go to transcendcompanies.com and you can get taller too.
That's a joke. If you didn't catch that joke, don't come after us.
I'm taller. You're shorter. You're not on, products. I am.
Have you started your Matsu?
These are just facts. It seems to me this is true.
Oh, man. This is correlation does not equal causation, people.
If you listen to the show, you know that.
Yeah.
We just lost our sponsor.
Or they just got a boost in sales.
Yeah. Chris just called me and said, you guys make me taller.
They find this shit funny too. So if you like people that can appreciate humor, go over there. Make sure you contact one of their consultants. They're really knowledgeable. You'll like your interaction with them.
Look at you trying to be serious. That's cute.
Yeah.
All right. The many experts declaring a recession won't materialize are repeating the mistake they made during the dot-com and housing bubbles, according to David Rosenberg, noted to be a fan of the Higher Standard podcast. Who knew? He pointed to a classic recession indicator, the yield curve. What?
Wow. The one that's flashing red?
The one that we've talked about over and over and over and over again? For all 10 of the last Fed meetings?
Maybe more than that, yeah.
I'm just saying. The difference between the 2-year and the 10-year Treasury yields. It's been inverted for 13 long, sexy months. The longest period since 1979 to 1980, when a very attractive mixed race baby named Chris was born. And by as many as 157 basis points, the most extreme inversion since 1981.
Yeah. That's a problem, kids.
That's a problem. Quoting Mr. Rosenberg, why would anyone bet against a metric that has gone 8 for 8? Rosenberg queried, referring to the yield curve's flawless history of heralding in a recession. Okay. If anything has a flawless history of heralding anything in,
Yeah.
I would say those are good odds.
Yeah.
If I have a flawless history of heralding in my way into Saeed's life, you know I'm going to be in Saeed's life.
Yeah.
Deep in it.
You persistent fucker.
I'm a persistent fucker.
Yeah.
And that's just what happens every single time. You can't deny me, Saeed. I'm in you.
I can't recall. I want to say that, a recession typically happens somewhere around the 18-month mark.
For a normalized economy, not following 14 years of artificial interest rate deflation.
Right. So, and the reason why it makes it very difficult for...
and it's 12 to 18 months, by the way.
Is it 12 to 18 months? Yeah. So that was the range. So we're clearly within that range now, right? And in order for a recession to be declared, we need 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth that's declared by the National Bureau of Economic Research, which also will want to factor in gross domestic income, because that's how they got out of it last time.
Those motherfuckers haven't said a word in years.
Quiet.
What is their job?
They're just waiting on the sidelines.
How do you, Jesus.
But the reason why it's so hard to escape a recession when something like this is happening, coupled with a time where the Fed is raising interest rates to where they have now, is because you can't turn off the faucet fast enough.
No.
Right? Because it's already done. The lag effects have been building and building and building. Look at the economic position that corporations are in across this nation and what they're going to have to deal with the upcoming debt that they're going to have to take on, or the commercial real estate bubble that is going to burst here soon. Values are already down something like 40%. And then you look at consumer household debt reaching all-time highs. These effects have all been adding on to each other. You can't just reverse course and ease rates and think everything's going to be okay.
Realtors think that.
No, wait.
I had one of them come at me today on Threads, trolling me hard. Bro, you said that the Fed funds rate cuts don't impact rates, but they do. Mortgage rates will come down. I'm like, don't confuse causation with correlation. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he got all salty with me, and I'm like, hey, how many economics courses were you required to take for your real estate license?
Why you got to do that?
He's like, why are you just disrespecting my career? I'm like, I'm not. I'm a broker too.
Yeah.
My family's got like several brokers in it. My sister, my brother, my father.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you a question, bro. If you're sensitive to it,
Right.
And then I blocked him before he could answer because I'm a dick.
Yeah. There was some economist, I don't remember who it was on CNBC. They projected that the 10-year is actually going to rise to 5.5 by Q2, Q3 this year.
That's earlier than I would predict, but along the same numbers that I think are probable if things continue in the direction that they're going.
And remember, if that happens, now mortgage rates they're not tied to the 10-year, but they tend to follow it. Mm-hmm. So if it does in fact go up to 5.5, you can expect rates somewhere between 7.5% and 8.5%.
They compete for the same investment dollars in the secondary market, so those two in particular have a bit of a symbiotic relationship. You can also expect to see that the Fed's activity, not the Fed funds rate cuts, but the buying and selling of bonds in and out of their own portfolio really impact the market a lot more from an interest rate perspective than the Fed funds rate cuts do.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then that's also a big reason why we were talking about earlier in the show that, foreign countries hold about 30% of the U.S. National debt.
Can you imagine what those countries in BRICS could do if they wanted to offload that debt?
And that's my point exactly, right? If they want,
is it? Felt like it was mine.
If they started to feel like the U.S. are close to defaulting on their first debt ever, right? They'll be like, okay, let's just sell us off and fuck them in the process, and we got our own thing now going over here.
Oof, heavy F, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that's right up your alley.
I say it very jovial. You said it very heavy.
You say what?
I say the word fuck, very jovial.
You say fuck.
Like, fuck.
You don't say it. You don't say.
You're like fuck. It's a deep fuck.
Some of us have bigger penises, man. That's how it comes out.
It seems to me that is true. As long as that is your truth.
That's my
truth. That is your North Star. I'm okay. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. You can.
I said it with my chest, man.
You did say it with your chest.
Yeah.
All right. David Rosenberg continues. He noted that the depth and duration of the curve's inversion is correlated to the length and severity.
Go. This was written for us. He knew what he was doing. He listens to the show.
When I wrote this down, I'm like, how can I get Saied talking about dicks before you?
He's like, I'm gonna say this for the end of the show.
I gotta get enough dick jokes into the show to where we'll be talking about dicks when I say the sentence. That's where my mind's at whenever I do show prep.
Show prep, and you're planning out, you're road mapping the way the show's gonna play out.
Just gotta get enough. He used ChatGPT for this. He's like, summarize this article with dick jokes.
He noted the depth and duration of the curve's inversion is correlated to the length and severity of the recession that follows. This is a very powerful signal and with a much more compelling track record than the equity market. David Rosenberg, everybody.
Yeah. Friend of the show. Now, you did go on to say that the stock market typically plummets about 30% during a recession, even though we know that 20% is typically required. But what he's saying is you could probably expect 30% if it does, in fact, happen.
I literally teared up. That was good.
You got a good one out.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Should we? I really want to do a deep dive on this, man. I really want to save this.
Oh, we tease it. You might as well get into it.
Might as well. You really want to get into it? 5 best money resolutions for the middle class, according to some of the best experts.
I mean, I've never seen anybody more talented personally.
This from Yahoo Finance.
Actually, it's from Go Banking Rates, but it was
syndicated onto Yahoo Finance. That's right. About half of the country is considered, quote, middle class, end quote, defined as those whose earnings put them in the 40th to 60th percentile of household income, or roughly $55,000 to $89,744 per year. Scroll down, Odin, so that we can make sure we cite this wonderful expert on here. Let's see, right there. To improve their financial position, the middle class will need to take stock market exposure more seriously, said Christopher Nahibi, Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at First Foundation Bank. Damn, bro, you couldn't tell them you're a host of a podcast?
Yeah, man.
What the hell? What are you doing? Plug the show.
Oops. I got to be honest. That sounds a little bit more credible than the podcast. And I can't be like weaving in dick jokes to quotes.
I don't know, man. I mean, that does sound really good. I'm not saying it doesn't sound good, but I think if it also said, host of a top 1% podcast would be very, very good.
Then you would like how I actually originally quoted this. So the next paragraph says how he highly recommends dollar cost averaging like his poor friend Saied.
Are you speaking in third person? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm quoting myself.
How arrogant are you, bro?
I'm reading a quote from me about me.
I don't see that.
To you about you.
I don't see that. Yeah, that's not what it says. So he also said it's important to take full advantage of any 401k employer match available. This is something that I feel like is common knowledge to some of us who are in this space. But for those that aren't or haven't had conversations like this, this is something that you need to take advantage of. It's free money just sitting there waiting for you to take.
Yeah.
Right? And I know that some companies, if you're starting out, I believe they have like a 4-year vesting cycle, right?
Yep.
Typically on average. So as time goes on, you get more and more that gets vested. And then after the 4th year, it's always vested, right?
I'll make it real simple. If your employer offers a 401k, find out what the maximum percentage they will match is, whether that's 50% or 100% match, and then you invest whatever that maximum is. So some employers, it's like 5% or 6% per year. Mm-hmm. Whatever that is, make sure you invest that because you're getting free money if you do that, and it's good for your retirement.
Yeah, and when he's saying that it's 5% of your check, right?
Yeah. 5% of your gross income.
Yeah, of your gross income. Exactly. So some serious things. That's what Chris said in the article as an expert. He wanted to make sure that people took investing very seriously. The next thing that he wanted to make sure that you do is eliminate high interest debt.
Was that out in this article too?
It's right there. Eliminate high interest debt. Is that not you on this?
I did talk about it. I just don't think I was quoted in that portion. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, of the 5 reasons, this is reason number 2: eliminate high interest debt. This is something that's tackling households across the nation. We know that credit card debt across households across the nation is really hurting them. And if you haven't built a safety net savings account, I know the desire to want to do that, so you feel good about seeing something in your savings account, but you really, really need to tackle the high interest debt because it's going to cripple you way before not having that.
Diversify your income was also my second recommendation. You can only scrimp and save so much. Another way to improve your financial standing is to increase income, which theoretically has no limit. I have always been a big fan of making money between 5 p.m. to 9 a.m., he said.
Or 11 p.m. because it's 11:04 right now.
Yeah, well, for example, you can start a small business doing something you're passionate about. Financial literacy, maybe?
Yeah,
there you go. Or if you don't want to invest too much extra time and energy beyond your day job, consider freelancing or doing contract work for a few extra hours per month. You can then put that extra cash towards your goals, such as building an emergency fund, paying off debt, or investing.
Yeah.
God damn, he does sound like an expert.
I mean, that is definitely something that I know we've talked about it before, and it's one of the other things going on. It's considering getting a real estate license kind of plays right into that last one, whereas maybe pick up a new skill.
I didn't really read the rest of the article. I didn't realize I was quoted in the rest of this too. I just saw the first paragraph. That's all I saw.
Go banking rates is done with you, bro.
My bad, Casey. And he said he's always been a proponent of getting your real estate license. If you buy a home, you can use your portion of the commission toward your down payment, he explained. That's like getting a discount off the top of the purchase price, and certainly a tool that can help you if your friends or family want to buy or sell a home. Plus, he added real estate appraisal, real estate finance, and real estate principles are all required courses in most states. Not bad information to be well acquainted with either, he said.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
I mean, it's definitely something that we've talked about on the show before, too. If you, especially if you don't know anyone that is a real estate agent, I mean, that's commission that you're leaving on the table for yourself, right? And lastly, to invest in yourself. As baby boomers retire en masse in the upcoming decade, there will be a lot of opportunities for Gen X and millennials to take those higher level jobs. Look, at the end of the day, if one risk you have as an employee, where if you just stick at your job and you get the routine pay raise year over year and the occasional promotion, right? The risk that you run is eventually going up against a younger generation, a newer employee that's willing to work harder, work longer hours, work for less to be able to learn, and they can take your job away from you. That's why you should invest in yourself. Start something for yourself on the side, and by doing that, look, like we talked about, like me coming on this show, right, and starting this off and helping you out, and it turned into a whole thing. Next thing you know, I'm learning how to edit again, right? I'm fine tuning that skill. You're gonna have to focus on getting better and investing in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Haroon, any final words of wisdom to take us out?
No, I mean, Saied hit the nail on the head with the investing in yourself.
Saied did hit it.
Yeah, he did.
He hit that nail on the head. Hard.
Saied be hitting it on this podcast.
Right in the head.
Mm-hmm. One day our assistant's gonna walk in on me with you guys.
I just want you to know if that happens.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it as long as Jada Pinkett Smith isn't there.
You gonna read that review?
We got a review?
No, we don't. God damn it, listeners. Again.
Well, I guess if you don't give us a review, Haroon, go ahead and come here with your shirt off real quick.
If that's what it takes. No, listen, also, I'm being serious. Leave a comment down below if you want Haroon in the hot seat.
How many comments do we need?
We need one.
Just one.
Just one.
Just one non-family member.
It's going to be so fun. I think you're going to enjoy it, man. You do really well.
Oh, I couldn't wait to grill you.
And you don't have to, I won't be out there. We'll all be in here.
Yeah, we'll all be in here. I'll grill the shit out of you.
Why?
Oh, come on, man.
This will be like SATs. I'm going to have to study for everything.
You have to prep.
No, you won't, dude. No,
I'm going to test him on every episode he's ever heard.
You should know this. We've talked about it 15 times.
In episode 156, we said a lot about the recession.
Fuck that. Haroon, what did we talk about last episode?
Oh, God. Man. I edited the show, too.
Name 2 episodes you've actually watched. Go.
Watched, yeah.
Yeah, that's not one.
Yeah. All right. Got anything?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.